It's the J Bass Today Show. Get ready for a good time, a good time. It's the J Bass Today Show. Get ready to ride.
Welcome to the J Bass Today Show. Thank you so much for riding with me, and I hope you enjoy the show. Season's greetings. God bless you to each of you. Welcome to the J Bass Today Show. Thank God for another opportunity to share with you. I have been looking forward to being able to record again. Unfortunately, I do want to start out by apologizing because the last video that I recorded for this show had some very serious sound issues. I started to just share some of it to show that I didn't just not record an episode last week, that I did record it. But, you know, it is part of technical difficulties that we do experience in life. And sometimes there are just things that are beyond your control. One of the reasons why I wear this particular necklace and this particular ring both have the Serenity Prayer on them, because it is certainly a prayer that I've learned to pray every day, sometimes multiple times a day, because I realize there are things that J Bass just cannot control. And then I need the courage to change the things that I can. And of course, on the other end, I certainly need the wisdom. I need the wisdom to know the difference. And so I honor God so much for that serenity prayer, and whoever he gave to give that to the world so that people like me can use it. There is a message that this show is modeled from, and this part of it is my motto. So I said mottoed, but it is my motto for the J Bass Today Show, then, which is featured, let's see, right here, that I have been encouraged to encourage. And you see, let's see, oh my gosh, trying to figure this out. You see this smile on my face in the picture, and then you see this smile. And I found an Our Daily Bread from June 20th of 2017. And it just speaks sentiments to my heart, and it also goes along with this motto. And so I thought it was befitting to share. And of course, like I said in the previous broadcast that I recorded, it was what I shared as well. But it's worth sharing again and making sure that this message gets out to those of you who actually will take time to look at this show. And maybe I'll be able to find this particular picture, but I love creating 24 by 30 posters for my home filled with encouragement. And one of them is nothing but pictures of me down through the years smiling. And I don't know why that's bringing me to tears, but what I think of is that I've had such low moments in this life that being able to smile and to laugh and enjoy life is a privilege and a blessing that I do not take lightly. And so what it became was a staple, a visual staple in my life, to remember that no matter how bad things seem to have gotten or how low I felt, that if I saw that picture, I could remember that just like in many of those pictures, I'd had many low moments preceding it. And yet, in another season, following those low moments, I was able to smile and enjoy life and laugh. And that speaks volumes. And so I want to first kind of start out, I want to start out by encouraging you all, whatever it is that you can do, if it is creating a picture, if it is some kind of symbol that you can use to be reminded that you will laugh again, that you will smile again, even after the grief, even after any loss, any heartache. There's so many negative and low things and painful and hurtful things that we can go through in this life. But the privilege is that we can get through it. We can get through it. And I heard something that really, really made a significant impact on me as far as thinking. And it is both and that on one hand, I can be extremely happy and blessed, but then on the other hand, I can be sad or angry and burdened. And I found that to be a characteristic of life. That's one of the characteristics of life that I've noticed is on one hand, it truly is that you have such good things going on. And then on the other hand, it seems like things are falling apart and it's like, golly, I want to smile and enjoy and be happy about the good thing that's going on. But on the other hand, I just want this to be done and over with. As many of you possibly, if you watching this show, I'm sure that you watch the Jay Tay show as well. And we have been studying the book Crushing by Bishop T.D. Jakes, and just the thought of what is produced from our crushing, seeing who I am today after all that I've been through. I just shared something today. We received our grades, final grades from our one of my classes, and it was a class I was very concerned about. And if you know that'll lead you to go and look and see what I'm talking about. But I was very concerned going into the class. I was upset that it's let's see, it's a word. Please forgive me. Gosh. It's a required class. There we go. Thank God for the mind. Thank God for the Holy Spirit being with me to bring that to my remembrance. Oh my God, I believe I need him to help me bring things to my remembrance, especially the way things go. But it's a required course for my degree plan. And I just wondered, why am I being forced to take this? I don't like scenarios where I'm being forced to do things. But I realize sometimes, again, that's part of the serenity prayer, to accept the things that I cannot change. I cannot change that degree plan, at least right now. Maybe one day I'll be in position. But as I've taken the course, I'm grateful that I did. There are some things that even being able to, first and foremost, get ready to read this Our Daily Bread. The fact that I'm able to read freely is a blessing. I realized that after taking this course. And what I honor God for is it could cause me to have a level of hatred even that I've seen in others, understanding even more of what our ancestors went through to make sure that we have these freedoms and provisions in place today. But what it has done for me is it actually has brought a level of certainty that I am here in this dispensation, in this generation, for such a time as this. And there's a reason that God allowed me to live here so that I can do something that those before me could not do. And even having the privilege of doing this show, I don't have a producer or anyone to help me with this, and this is just me doing this. But I thank God for Zoom. I thank God for my laptop. I thank God for the World Wide Web. I thank God for internet to be able to share this kind of message worldwide. I never know who will see these broadcasts, but what I do believe is that I am encouraged to encourage. And so whoever this encouragement is for, I pray that you are blessed and encouraged by what you hear. And so the title of this lesson in Our Daily Bread is entitled Reason to Smile. In the workplace, words of encouragement matter. Here we go already with encourage. How employees talk to one another has a bearing on customer satisfaction, company profits, and coworker appreciation. Studies show that members of the most effective work groups give one another 6 times more affirmation than disapproval, disagreement, or sarcasm. Least productive teams tend to use almost 3 negative comments for every helpful word. Paul learned by experience about the value of words in shaping relationships and outcomes. Before meeting Christ on the road to Damascus, his words and actions terrorized followers of Jesus. But by the time he wrote his letter to the Thessalonians, he had become a great encourager because of God's work in his heart. Now, by his own example, he urged his readers to cheer one another on. While being careful to avoid flattery, he showed how to affirm others and reflect the Spirit of Christ. In the process, Paul reminded his readers where encouragement comes from. He saw that entrusting ourselves to God, who loved us enough to die for us, gives us reason to comfort, forgive, inspire, and lovingly challenge one another. Paul shows us that encouraging one another is a way of helping one another get a taste of the patience and goodness of God. What could be better than working to bring about the best in one another? Today's reading comes from 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verses 9 through 28. Specifically verse 11, which reads, "Therefore encourage one another and build each other up, just as in fact you are doing." It's like this is my charge. I want to possibly add this to my flyer for this show because I'm already doing it. I feel like it's my responsibility to encourage because I know how it feels to be discouraged, and I have to offer to someone what many times I did not receive in those low places. But I do want to thank God so many times that for those who have encouraged down through the years. And so I just wanted to share about this thought about encouraging, and it says to inspire and to forgive. It is so important that we understand our individual need for grace. I was having I'm still in the process of having a conversation with a young man who we were messaging back and forth, and he said something that really got my attention because we started talking about grace, and he said that he felt like his life totally outdid mine in the need of grace. And I'm thinking, brother, you really just don't know who you're talking to and the level of things that I have done that really require grace. And I've shared this on many episodes in the past and just on my profile and messages. I mean, it's been multiple times that I felt like I've been one of the worst human beings to ever exist because of my thoughts and actions, and knowing that I was raised in the church, that I should know better. I had some good examples of what to do and what not to do, and yet found myself in a low place. And that's one of the reasons for this show, because when you have been through so much in this life that you begin to internalize that and feel like you're worthless and you're useless, and that things just don't seem like they will ever work for you, and you begin to stop caring about, and I use that loosely because on one aspect, on one side of the spectrum, I cared and care. But on the other end, that it became, well, if things will never improve, and this is the way that my life will be, and this is it, and this is the level of mess that I'm gonna be made to remain in, well, then whatever the consequences, whatever the action, so be it. And to have survived that, that's why I'm encouraging. That's why, because many days it did not look like, it did not feel like I could ever overcome. And to sit here as an overcomer today, to sit here as a survivor and seeing the many blessings in my life that I am, I can't help but give God all of the glory and the honor, even as the lesson says, of building people up, that in turn that they would get a taste of the patience and goodness of God. I have tasted of God's patience. The fact that I did survive and overcome is absolutely a testament and a testimony that I can't take credit for myself. I can't give credit to any other human being, because at my lowest place, there was no one I could think of that was worth me living and moving forward with life. But God was patient with me. And when others were upset and had cast me aside, God was patient with me. He was good to me. And so if I can encourage someone else and help them get a taste of that patience, a taste of that goodness, then my living is not in vain. And so hence the J Bass Today Show. And so I want to end this broadcast by just saying, those are my words of encouragement. Each one of us has been through so much. When I think about life and our inception and the delivery that we go through, that whole process, that is so much that could have killed us, so much that could have caused us to uh, not be here today, which is still the same thing. And there are so many things that could have happened that I wouldn't have this opportunity to share in this manner. But God has so divinely ordered my steps to this moment. And if you made it this far in this video, God has so divinely ordered your steps to hear these words of encouragement, because there's obviously something greater that He has in store for you to do. I wish somebody would have told me that and really drove it home like I'm trying to drive it for you, because it felt like at times that it was no use, that coming out of the things that I've been through and the situations I found myself in, that it was impossible. But what I've read in the Word of God is that what's impossible with man is possible with God. So I give Him all the glory, I give Him all the honor, and I certainly give Him all the praise. Somebody was talking to me about my freedom in worship, and I'm free because I'm free. I don't want that to sound crazy, but I'm free because I'm free. I realized that the things that I've been through did not hold me hostage to anything. I'm able to still move forward in spite of the sicknesses and things that I've dealt with and still dealing with. I had dialysis this morning. And in spite of that, here I am on this broadcast with a word of encouragement. And so I honor God. I give Him praise. I give Him thanks. And on this day, December 14th, 2023, I know that if God brought me through this and is still bringing me through, sometimes I just sit around and think, what is the purpose of this existence? What is this? What is this? What is going on here? What is what is really, what is going on that I've come through all of this? I'm thinking about childhood and outside playing, and then I'm thinking about sitting in the room depressed and crying and being suicidal. I'm thinking about now being in this wonderful season of my life and seeing God's blessings manifest. in ways that, again, I thought were impossible. And so, again, it's all I can believe is that part of why I'm here is to encourage someone else that you can make it too. You have been given a reason to smile. Those of you who have been tuning in, you know that I've been having guests on the show, and whenever I don't have a guest, what I like to do is just share from my heart. And this was my sharing from my heart. But if you would like to be a guest, I would love to promote what you're doing. I would love to give you a platform to share your testimony and to encourage others. And so please, by all means, let me know that you want to be a guest. I'm not opposed to having anyone on my show or on this show, because I believe even this show belongs to God. After he didn't take me out when I wanted to be done with life and couldn't find any other reason but my music to try to stay alive and keep hope alive. I realized that my life only belongs to him. I'm only here because he's kept me. I'm only here because he's blessed me to be here. And that's for a divine purpose greater than what I understand. And so this show is dedicated to uplifting his name and encouraging his people. And so if you want to share your testimony, what the Lord is doing in your life in this season, what he's brought you through, and what coming through all of that means to you, I would love to have you on as a guest. Please forgive me again that I have not been able to have a show every week, but we're picking back up. And what I determined is I was not going to allow that to hinder me from continuing to move forward with this broadcast. And so, hey, here we are again. And prayerfully, the sound is right on this one. God bless you all. Have an amazing day, and greater. Thank God, and to God be all the glory.
It's the J-Bass Today Show. Now I'm telling you that it's your